Mithraism and the Mysteries, the secret religion that conquered Rome. Imagine a secret religion practiced in windowless, candlelit caverns beneath Roman streets, an all-male brotherhood that ritualized a strange scene, a young god thrusting a dagger into a bull. By the 2nd to 3rd century CE, the cult of Mithras had spread from the eastern provinces to the far frontiers of the Roman Empire, Britain, the Rhine, and the Danube, and left behind dozens of subterranean temples, enigmatic reliefs, and more questions than answers. This is the story of Mithraism, where it came from, how it spread across Europe, what followers actually did inside a mithraeum, and what those haunting symbols meant. 1. Origins and etymology. The name at the center of the cult, Mithras, Latin, is related to the ancient Indo-Iranian deity Mithra, Avestan, and the Vedic Mitra. Linguistically, the root Mithra comes from Proto-Indo-Iranian mitram, meaning something like, that which binds, a covenant, contract, or oath. In Iranian and Indian traditions, Mitra or Mitra is connected with contracts, cosmic order, and often associated with the sun. But scholars disagree about how directly the Roman cult descended from the Iranian one. Some, starting with Franz Cumont, argued for a direct adaptation of the Iranian Mitra, while others see Roman Mithras as a largely new, syncretic mystery god that borrowed an old name. 2. How Mithraism spread through Europe. Mithraism rose in the Roman world roughly between the 1st century BCE and the 4th century CE. Archaeology shows it was especially popular among soldiers, merchants, and officials, groups who moved around the empire, which helps explain its wide geographic reach. Mithraea, the cult houses, appear in cities from Rome to Londinium and along frontier lines in Germany and the Danube. They're often built below street level, modeled as caves or underground halls. Unlike state cults, Mithraism spread through personal networks and the mobility of its adherents rather than top-down imperial patronage. 3. The Mithraeum, architecture and experience. A typical Mithraeum is small, windowless, and cave-like, a central aisle flanked by benches for communal meals, with a niche or a raised platform for the main image, usually the tauroctony, Mithras slaying the bull. Entering a Mithraeum was meant to feel like entering a mythic cave. Ritual was intimate and exclusive, restricted to men who underwent graded initiations. Archaeological traces, dining ware, altars, lamps, and painted floors, point to feasting, staged ceremonies, and carefully choreographed rites. Recent microarchaeology even shows evidence of burning, floor cleaning, and arranged debris consistent with ritual banqueting and purification. 4. Rituals and initiation. Because the cult left no surviving doctrinal texts, scholars reconstruct ritual practice from inscriptions, iconography, the layout of Mithraea, and a handful of contemporary writers, often hostile Christian critics. What emerges consistently? Initiation grades. Evidence from inscriptions lists a 7-grade system, titles like Corax, Nymphus, Pater, etc. Initiates apparently advance through stations that may have included symbolic actions, tests of courage or devotion, and special knowledge. Communal banquet. Feasting was central. The benches and dining wares indicate sacramental meals that reenacted mythical feasting between Mithras and Sol, the sun. Some scholars argue the ritual meal had a unifying, possibly salvific function for members. Dramatic reenactments. The bull-slaying scene, tauroctony, was the cult's central mythic tableau and may have been ritually reenacted or commemorated by symbolic gestures and offerings. Some Mithraea have altars and depictions suggesting staged liturgy. Secrecy and exclusivity. Membership seems to have been limited to men. The cult emphasized secrecy, oaths, and a strong sense of brotherhood. 5. The tauroctony and other symbols. The single most iconic image of Mithraism is the tauroctony, Mithras kneeling and slaying a bull, attended by a dog, a serpent, a scorpion, often biting the bull's genitals, and sometimes a raven. Mithras usually wears a Phrygian cap and is depicted as a youthful, caped figure. Interpretations of the scene vary widely. Cosmic astronomical reading. Some scholars interpret the animals and positions as star constellations, and Mithras act as a cosmological drama that explains the order of the heavens. Life-giving sacrifice. Others see the bull's death as a fertility motif. From its blood and viscera life emerges: wheat, a dog drinking blood, a snake drinking blood, etc. Esoteric myth with salvific power. Within the cult, the tauroctony likely functioned as the central salvific myth enacted ritually and meditated upon by initiates. Additional frequent symbols. The Phrygian cap, marking Eastern origin, torchbearers, cots and cotopates, representing light and dark or rising and setting sun phases, the sun god soul frequently paired with Mithras, and iconography linking Mithras to ascent, suggestive of a soul's ascent through heavenly spheres. 6. Interpretations, Cumont, Ulansey, and modern debate. Early 20th century scholar Franz Cumont argued that Roman Mithraism was a direct offshoot of Iranian Mithra worship, an Oriental import that the Romans adopted wholesale. Later scholars challenged this, noting major thematic and iconographic differences. For example, David Ulansey proposed that Roman Mithras was a novel cosmic deity created in the late Hellenistic world, whose bull-slaying myth encoded contemporary astronomical discoveries, notably precession-related ideas. Today the consensus is cautious. Roman Mithraism is clearly syncretic, influenced by Eastern traditions but reworked in Mediterranean religious and social contexts. 7. Decline and legacy. From the 4th century CE, as Christianity gained imperial support, many pagan cults declined. Mithraism, tightly male, secret, and decentralized, faded under the Christianizing empire and the legal suppression of non-Christian rites. By the early medieval period the cult had largely disappeared, but its archaeological traces survive in dozens of Mithraea across Europe, and it continues to fascinate historians, archaeologists, and the public. Some modern esoteric and neo-pagan movements have revived or reinterpreted Mithraic themes, though these are modern constructs rather than direct historical continuations. Mithraism sits at the crossroads of empire, movement, and mystery, a cult that borrowed old names, created new rituals, and left a visual language that still puzzles us. Whether you emphasize its Iranian roots, its Roman reinvention, or its cosmic symbolism, Mithras remains one of antiquity's most compelling enigmas: a dagger, a bull, and an underground brotherhood whose echoes we still piece together from stone and candlelight. We hope you have enjoyed watching the video. Thank you for watching.